When we first put money down on our property, we had no idea that they would have to put in a giant ditch in the front of our yard. It was super frustrating to me when we were told about it, and I've since then had to figure out what we're going to do with this piece of land. I want to use up every bit of space on our property, and for us to have this 15-foot wide ditch going all along the front of our property, it was really frustrating to me because I felt like I wouldn't be able to really utilize our front yard space. Here in the high desert, most of our rainfall comes within a few weeks of time and all at once. So we are very prone to flash flooding during the summer months. It's actually in July. It's called monsoon season. We had to put the ditch here, and so my brain went straight to, okay, what can we do with this ditch? How are we going to utilize this piece of our property? To give you a little bit of a perspective of where we live. So we live on a single street, like that is a dead-end street because there's a canal at the end, and there are 12 one-acre lots all along the street, and on each side there are these large ditches, and we are at the very end of the street. Some of my thoughts for how to use this ditch was first to fill it. They're working on our house. Was first to fill the ditch with landscape rocks. Here in the high desert, lots and lots of people use rocks in their yards instead of grass in order to save on water. And so I thought, or we could fill our ditch up with landscape rocks. It wouldn't be a lot of maintenance. But then part of me was like, I don't want to waste this precious space that we have. And so I wanted to think of something else. So we are preparing to get rabbits this spring, and we will also be getting chickens and goats in the future. So I wanted to create a pasture in our yard, and in my search for seeds, I was looking at alfalfa hay, dryland pasture, and timothy hay, all things that we will likely need to feed our animals. So I scrolled down on timothy hay just to see the growing conditions that it needed, and it described perfectly what our ditch is. That it can grow on slants or sides of roads, and that it can stand in a little bit of water but not a ton. Anyway, I just thought, oh my goodness, can we plant hay in our ditch and harvest it a few times during the summer? I go in ahead and bought the seeds, and we're gonna try it this year, and it might not work. It might all dry and get soggy, and it might not look that good, but we're just gonna try it this year because I really want to utilize that space. And if we could grow hay all along our ditch, that would be amazing. If you have any ideas on what you would suggest for us to use inside our ditch, that would be awesome. All in all, when life throws challenges at you, take that challenge and make it into something great. I am now excited to be able to try something new with it and to be able to learn something new and to get this chance to experiment. And I have a feeling that this whole year will be a whole lot of experimenting, and that's something that I just really love to do. And I'm sure there will be a lot of things that just don't work out, but I'm not a believer in failure when trying something new. In fact, I feel like there's so much gained from it, and it just leads me into diving deeper into finding a solution. In fact, I think the only failure is when you let these type of situations keep you from trying something at all. All of the stucco siding is up on the house now. They will add the stone, paint, and shake shingles later. Inside the house, they have finished putting up the texture on the walls and on the ceiling. Because they are doing these jobs in the winter, things will take a little longer to dry. So I imagine things looking the same for a week or so while the exterior and interior are drying.
So this is the texture that they put on before they paint over it and I guess put the stucco on. And in the gable of the garage, you see up there, we're going to get like shake shingle, like not stucco. But he said that he put this texture stuff on in that gable so that it's on the same level as the stucco below it.
We're just driving away from our house, and Aspen started yelling, "There's a bald eagle in the tree!" And sure enough,
Your seeds are here.
Oh, it's big.
There you go.
So after deciding on growing Timothy hay in our ditch and pasture on the east side of our yard, I started asking around for recommendations for seeds. A few weeks ago, I spoke to a rabbit breeder about getting rabbits this spring, and he actually suggested the dry land pasture mix from Great Basin Seeds. This company is local and only sells seeds that grow well in our area, with great tips and suggestions that go along with the amount of rainfall you get. Then later that week, I had someone else mention Great Basin Seeds to me, so I went ahead and ordered from them. The packaging was pretty, and they even threw in a complimentary honeybee wildflower mix, which I loved. Seems like a good company. I would suggest them to anyone watching who lives out west. We needed to bring cookies to a family event this weekend. I let my kids decide what type of cookies we would make. They settled on ginger cookies and citrus cookies. We decided to start with the citrus cookies. Whenever I try to follow a recipe, I find myself always changing something. Whether that is because I want to improve the taste or if I don't have all the ingredients. In this case, we didn't have oranges, so I used a clementine instead, and it turned out just fine. Whenever I do this, people don't seem to notice, so I keep on doing it. I had been wanting a little glass juicer like this one for a while, so when I found one at a thrift shop, I snagged it. I'm not lying when I say that I was excited when my kids chose this cookie recipe because it meant I got to try out this little juicer. In this recipe, you use the egg yolk for the cookie and the egg whites for the icing, so there is no egg wasting in this recipe. Whenever I bake, I find myself gathering an audience, and I love it. Could my cookies turn out better if I was working alone? Probably. But the memories we are creating in the kitchen together are worth it. Ginger cookies were something that I thought I didn't like, but after making them again this past year, I have realized that I really do enjoy them. You can put it down. Whoa. I'm gonna turn it on low. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see all the videos of our house being built, go ahead and click here.